Ladies tend to store muscles around their thighs, their lower body, and around their breasts.
Store
For
fat
men,
around the lower body and the breasts.
we tend to store around the waist. But even what we see is not the dangerous fat. We have the visceral fat, which is inside, on top of the organs. That's the most dangerous one. And that's what men, I think, through evolution, men developed this kind of this physiology because we used to fight, hunt. So that fat was a protective layer to the internal organs. For women, because of various reasons of evolution, things like bearing children, mate selection, that's why they are programmed the way they are. But even
Basically,
that is not.
they are made the way they are because of reproduction.
Yeah, because that's what we do. That's what we are. We are here to survive and to reproduce.
Yeah,
That's the main
because now
goal of.
I can imagine, because when a woman gets pregnant, they are basically two, and she needs to feed the baby. So when you don't eat, doesn't mean that the baby won't eat. Your body knows that this baby needs food, and the body has to burn more fat to make sure that the baby gets food. And hence, that's why I think women have the highest body percentages compared to men, just for the instance of reproduction.
For that extra, yeah. And by default, they start with higher body fat percentage and low muscle mass. For men, by default, we start with lower body fat percentage and more muscle. And that's why we are able to work out, we are able to lift more weights than them. That's why we are able to grow more muscle. Also hormones and other things, but those are a bit deeper. Now, when we come to working out, there are some differences. Like the workout, the style I recommend is going heavy, but in a medium rep range. That is anywhere between 4 to 12 reps for compound movements. Why? Because I am able to go heavy and my body is able to recruit these muscle units. For women, it's a bit different. Since they do not have as much muscle as we do, they cannot lift as heavy as we do. And as a result, they do not get as tired as we do. That's why a man can do lower reps, like a man can do fewer reps. A woman should do higher reps. Why? She's able to handle more work. Why? I mean, she's able to handle more work because she's not exerting herself like I am. So when you come up with a program for women, lift like men, but you should be able to do more volume than men, because your body is not the amount of work you're doing for the body. It's not a lot like the one men are doing. That's why men need to do need to do less work than women, but more intense. That is one of the things. Like for example, if we are doing squats, I might train within the 4 to 6 rep ranges because I want strength in that medium rep range. For a girl, when I'm making a program for a girl, I might put her between 6 and 8, or even 6 and 10, or 8 and 10, a bit higher rep range. So we are doing the same workout. We are working the same way. The weights I'm lifting are a bit heavier because I'm a guy. She's a girl. She's lifting the same way like me. The weights she's using are smaller, but she's able to do more reps. Why? She will recover fast because the amount of stress she's putting to her body is not as much as the one I do. So they can do higher rep ranges compared to men. That is number one. Number two, when you rest, men need longer time to rest. I might do very heavy deadlifts and I spend like 5 minutes recovering from that set. A girl is ready within 2 minutes. She's ready. The reasons are the same reasons. The central nervous system for them is not tired. Why? She does not have many muscles or big muscles to lift very heavy, because if she lifts very heavy, she will get as tired as me, but she's not able to do that. So she'll be ready. Within some few minutes, she's ready to go back. So when you program for women, they can spend less time to do more work compared to men. Another thing is most of the muscles that men tend to grow are on the upper body, the shoulders, the back, the chest, the lower back, they are on top of the body. For women, most of the muscles they need to grow for them to look great, they are in the lower body because we're not exactly the same in that area. For men, we're looking for that V taper. We want broad shoulders, we want a wide back, and we want a square chest and a slim waist. That's what makes a man attractive. For women, for them, they want for us is the shoulders to the waist ratio. For women is the waist to the hip ratio. So they need to have a smaller waist but wider hips, but not very wide as people think. It just need to be a bit wider, and that's why they need to focus more on the lower body.
Lower body. Okay.
Another difference.
Okay.
Yes?
Before that, okay, someone has started their fat loss journey or weight loss journey. What are those indicators to show that they are actually losing weight?
Yes, this is very important. This is very important. Remember, I said we don't need to be very accurate with our calories. The reason why I said that is because we will be tracking our progress. We have many indicators to look at. Number one is the mirror. The mirror will tell you. Or sometimes you may not even notice it when you look at the mirror, but pictures do. If you take weekly pictures, you may think you look the same, but when you look 3 weeks back, you notice you look different. So that's one of the ways you can use. So we have mirrors and we have pictures, but the one that I love using, the one that I think is the best, is the waist measurement. When someone starts losing weight or fat, the waist measurement becomes smaller. Their waist becomes narrower. When they start gaining fat, their waist measurement their waist starts to get wider. So this is what I do. I have a tape measure. This is very important because I track my waist. So there's a certain level where I do not want to cross because that means I'm getting too fat. So these are some of the things you can use. Another one is the weighing scale. But the weighing scale is not, you cannot trust it as much as the tape measure because the body will always change. For example, let me explain why I'm saying this. You might think, for example, you may be in a deficit, but your weight is reading the same, and you think you're not losing fat, but in actually, maybe you're losing fat and you're gaining muscle at the same rate. So you might be losing 1 kg. Yes.
And muscle is denser than fat.
Yeah. So you look smaller, but the weight scale is not changing. So that means you might be gaining muscle very fast and losing weight at the same time. Then you think, what's happening? I'm not seeing results. Then you create another deficit, which is a bad thing. So I'm not saying we should not weigh ourselves. Please, let's weigh ourselves. But this one will never lie to you. You keep on taking measurements with the tape measure, and it's very cheap. You don't need to spend lots of money on it. That one will tell you whether you are losing weight, losing fat, or gaining weight. Whether you're losing fat or gaining fat. There are others, but these are the most accessible ones for the average person.
I'm sure you've gotten some clients who have come to you and have said, hey, I want to lose belly fat. Hey, I want to lose upper arm fat.
Yeah, yes.
What do you talk about? What's your take about spot fat reduction? Because I don't know, some people are not convinced out there. They think they're going to do sit-ups and be able to lose belly fat.
Yeah, that's another misconception that is still around. I don't know why it's still around. There is no such thing as spot reduction. So if you want to lose fat, you're going to lose it everywhere. And ladies need to know this. They need to know they're going to lose it everywhere, even including their hips. And this is why.
And I've had some men who come to me and say, "Oh my God, I want a slim waist, but I want to preserve my
ass.
my ass, my lips." So you're like, how are you going
can't.
to do that?
But there's something they're forgetting. They think they will look bad. They will not look bad.
Most of them,
For example,
most of them, they actually think they will lose their hips, or their hips are going to become harder because they are lifting weights and, you know, become like a stone.
That is not true. Because, you know, people think meat is something else. Meat is fat. I mean, meat is muscle. So are you saying you don't want more meat? This is the thing, eh? It is true. You're going to get smaller. That is true. You will get smaller. But that does not mean you look bad. People think being huge is what makes people look attractive. That is not true. You look at movies. Those people who act movies, they're not big. When they wear suits, you not even notice they are big. They are very small, but since they have good muscle development, they are lean. When they remove those shirts, they look amazing. The same thing happens with women. You're going to lose. It's true. You're going to lose fat overall the body. You will get smaller, but it does not mean you're going to lose that figure. And that's why we are talking about working out. Create a diet. Create a caloric deficit through diet, but also work out for strength like men. This is important because the same thing we said, as you lose that fat, you're still building muscle. And things like the butt, the thing they are concerned about, the ass, it contains the biggest muscles in the body. The glutes, these are the biggest muscles in the body.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're working on those muscles, they'll get bigger. And those muscles are the ones that are going to maintain the figure that you want. So you'll get smaller, yes, but you'll even look better than someone who is fatter than you. Another thing, let's not fear muscles. You know, women I've been watching these women who compete on the stage. They do not know that those women are on drugs. The ones who are very big, they look like men. They are on drugs, first of all. Yeah, they are on drugs, first of all. Second, they have crazy genes, and they have been training for more than 10 years. And that's why they are that big. But you and I, the lady who is watching this, we are normal people. We do other things. We don't just work out. And this is a lifestyle. You will never get that big. But I assure you, if you work out for strength, and my sister is an example for this. I've been training her. She looks way better now. She's smaller, yes, but she has a better figure now. Why? She's working out those muscles. If you work out those muscles, they have to grow. And since you're in a deficit, you have to lose the fat. So you're going to look better doing this than what you think is going to happen. And the idea of doing crunches, like me, I don't do crunches for what? If I want six pack, I just reduce my body fat percentage. They are going to